6 o'clock. John, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before I get started, I would like to welcome our new school board member, Melissa J. Brown.
Thank you.
Is all set to go. Public comments, any visitors?
Yes, thank you. Larry Brown. Special ed is going to be a major item of discussion. And I went back to my vast files, found a memo that I had sent to the state director for our agency on post-school employment, integrated employment, and as dependent employment as opposed to freestanding, independent, competitive employment as obtained by individuals in free competition without the need for supports. Reporting agencies fail to subtract the cost of long-term interventions from the average salaries presented. Each vested client carries an information database sufficient for that purpose. I suggest that the costs of providing services to individuals are much higher, and that the final wages of dependent employment, this is what happens to kids once they leave high school, can only be determined by subtracting out all intensive and long-term supports and the continued value of public supports. And I offer the contrarian thought that the disabled who retain subsidized benefits through SSI and SSUD, and who average, this is old numbers, $4.99 a month in benefits, artificially depress the entry-level wages of service occupations.
Thank you.
Special ed as the year starts.
Anybody else? Any comments? Okay. Moving on, minutes of the last meeting of public, July 26, 17.
I'll make a motion to approve 7/26/17 with corrections that Laura already has.
Okay, do I have a second?
A second.
All right. That's okay. Paul? Yes, no? Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
You abstain and
Aye.
abstain. Oh, you did. You'd have to abstain too.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's 3, 4, 2 passes. Moving on for the July 26th non-public.
I'll make a motion to approve the 7/26 non-public.
Second.
With corrections.
With corrections. Melissa? Abstain?
Yes.
Okay, Paul?
You right?
Yes.
Peg? Yes.
Stephanie?
Abstain.
Abstain again? Yeah. Passes. Okay. Wednesday, May 24th, 2017. Do we have a motion?
Move to, what do I say, approve or unseal?
We already unsealed.
Oh, we
Unsealed.
unsealed,
They're
okay,
unsealed.
all right, then I approve them.
Have a second?
So moved.
Okay, Paul. Okay, Melissa?
Abstain.
Okay, Paul?
You all right?
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. 4, 0, 1, passes. And June 2nd, 2017.
Make a motion to approve, please.
I'll second.
Okay. Okay. Melissa?
Abstain.
Paul?
Abstain.
Oh my gosh. Doug, yes?
Peg, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We're the only three here.
Oh, gosh. All right, that takes care of it. Going right into the, I will take care of my minutes where I did them, so we won't have to
Thank
do
you.
them. Turn them in. Going right to the superintendent's report. Earl?
Thank you. The administrative team and the staff has done a great deal. I'd like to commend all of them and the staff that has come in during the course of time. We've been hiring many of the folks as far as the staff goes, and we're really enthusiastic about the people that are going to join us and enhance our school. We had 3 days at UNH, and we had building teams. There was approximately 7 or 8 people on each of the teams. Our teams were thoroughly, they worked really, really well. There was really plans being made, and it was very impressive as to the degree of time and effort and work. And I'll have the prints, you know, as the year unfolds, we'll be talking about the strategic action plans and the action plans that they are going to do. Also, too, at the next meeting here, we have a draft copy of a lucid compendium of various positions. And what we have done is we've looked at the budgeted positions and those people in the positions and what the anticipated amounts were. Then we have another column that looks at the people that we hired, and we looked at the total cost of each of the employees, the various changes that we've made, and it's in small print, but it's incredible. This speaks to the amount of work that has been done in planning and collaboration that the entire staff and the administration has done. I'd like to thank the board for their, you folks have been right with us as we have enhanced and restructured. Much of the work is done in the high school, in terms of the middle high school, in terms of the staffing and the administrative structure, and the physical configuration of the building. Speaking to that, Paul and Doug have done a great job on the facilities. They've worked in conjunction with Bob. And I'd also like to commend the Friends of Newt on these exhaustingly hot days. They've been up there working. We took a tour last time that Paul spoke to when he did his report, but again, it's like a sweatbox in there on certain days, and they're there banging away. And I can't help but say to the Friends of Newt and the people when the tour was made, when the commissioner came, Lou, who's now deceased, Lou received, which I'm trying to get, a full-page correspondence from the commissioner speaking eloquently about remembering what the school looked like and the blue that was put in the rooms. She specifically spoke to the blue, and knowing Lou, you know how important that was to her, you know, the blue and so forth. But I think that the people are listening on TV. I think that the Friends of Newt would be a very good group for you folks to join. They've done an extraordinary amount of work, and they need some new folks in there to keep the thing going well. So I thought that I'd just say that. Now, as a crosswalk to the administrative team, one of the things that Melissa is going to speak to, which I wanted to make you folks aware of, there's been a lot of discussions during the year about the NEC, the New England School, the New England and the partners. We've exhaustively taken a look at the cost effectiveness. I played the devil's advocate, looking at the cost of what it costs, what the cost would be if the students didn't go, what the cost of the ABAs are, and so forth. But from a point of structure, because we are a small school district, and if we want to sustain this, we want to be in a position within the system that if need be, if we don't, there are 7 seats that the New England that they allow us within the contract, 7 students. Now, the question arises, what happens if we come to a year where there's only 3 or 4 students? Granted, the applicable cost of a student among the 3 or 4, if we did have the self-contained, might be $150,000 in a year or whatever the case may be. But the point being, we want to put the system in a position that we can sustain ourselves. So what Melissa's done a great job in is she's gone out and got us approved by the state. So we are now state approved, am I correct?
Yes.
And I want to applaud her and commend her for that. The next step that she's done is she's gone out and begun to look at, and we met with Christine Morrison, and we discussed with her the procedure and the process and the best practice for filling seats that we might have, you know, if there's only 4 students. So what our philosophy is, and we're going to look to the board next time or the time after, but this is to prepare you for it so it's transparent, is that the next step would be we would then reach an area agreement with another school to fill that position with a student from another school district. So the question would arise is, what would we charge them? So in order to ascertain the cost, you not only have to look at what the seat itself costs, but what the ABA person that works with them, what the average cost is for that, or they would incur that cost. And if the student would need speech OT, whatever related service they would need would be part of the cost. So prescriptively, we would say, this is what the seat costs. This is like the main meal, so to speak. If you get an entree, if you get a dessert, these are the other things. But you would incur the entire cost of the students. So A will be looking to the board to approve the concept of having to sell a seat or to rent a seat, whatever you want to call it. And then we would also look to approve what that fee would be. Now, Melissa was saying, as we conversed, the best practice is to keep the seat open, because we don't know when a student could come in. You know, we're not sure that one would come in. Currently, we assuredly know we have 5. There are 2 that are still here, but it's questionable as to whether they will stay in the school district or not. So we're looking at an uncertainty of 2 seats. So right now there's no eminent, the procedure's there, we're approved by the state. Now we have we planned backwards and said, okay, we need to get this done by this date, this by this date, and we're right on. But this is an awareness to you as to what's going on. I want to commend her. Is there something you would like to add?
No, I think you pretty much covered it.
Thank you, Melissa.
You just like to say hello, you know, that's okay.
I'll answer any questions that you have, but you pretty much covered it.
He usually does.
Do you have anything else, Earl?
No, I'll spare you with the rest for next time. I'll keep you in suspense.
Sounds great.
Hey, moving on. Would John like to speak, and then Jan? Do you have anything for us? There's no report.
I didn't do a report.
I know that, you hear that, I was wondering,
Well, I'm here for the nominations and so forth. That's mostly non-public. And
okay, no?
I thought you said John was going to sing a song or something, no?
Well, he said the pledge.
Oh, I thought he was going to say,
It
okay.
is pledged. That's it.
Yeah.
I digress.
Can we get into non-public?
Okay, he'll sing in non-public?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Put his little costume on and.
Okay, guess so we all set? Moving on. Nate,
Oh, yeah.
now you realize we have two monthly reports?
Yep.
The old and the new. So is everybody
boy.
with the old?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
16, 17, 17, 18.
Yes. So, right now in the back, right now, it's not the this is not the final one then.
Still waiting for one more invoice,
So it's showing about,
but this is worst case.
okay, we got to have 118,465, 43 cents left over for the end of 6/30/2017.
Yes.
Does anybody have any questions at all on this?
Why were we in such a panic?
Because
Were we
the
in a
encumbrances
panic?
that we had were
More higher.
Pretty hefty, yeah.
were pretty heavy, yeah.
Yeah.
So we needed to freeze the budget, and I think that was the right move. There's no way of telling what the bottom line's gonna be, but when it's a
So
negative,
this
that's
is
bad.
good.
This
We're
is
good.
Yeah.
Really good. I'm happy.
If Doug's happy.
I'm happy.
Doug's happy, we're all happy.
2%, if you're not over 2% left, then it's considered good. So whatever the school budget is,
That's right,
if your
Jerry.
fund balance is under 2%, you've done a good job.
That's under 2%.
Go ahead, Patty.
Okay, quick question for you, Nate. I'm looking at the elementary teacher salaries, and we have 0.88% left.
Okay.
But then I go down to the health and the dental and the disability.
Mhm.
I'm assuming that the health and the dental people took higher than we had
Yep,
planned.
that's always
Okay.
a moving target, yeah.
Okay, all right. And disability, I thought disability was based on their salary.
It is, I was unaware that the rates had slightly increased.
Okay, all right,
I will budget for that the right way this year.
okay.
Peg, would you give the pages as you go?
I'm sorry, it's the first page.
It's a slight increase, but
Yeah,
just as,
Well, we
You know,
figured
it's-
it was the
there is
rest.
one, so.
but I just wanted to make sure that I totally understand it. And then going under page 3, special ed, ooh, way over high school support salaries. And then really, 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 really crazy with elementary summer school salaries and elementary special ed tutor salaries.
Yep. The
And middle
tutor salaries are the
salaries.
ABA tutors,
How about middle school on the next page?
same. We
Why
had
didn't
we had one ABA tutor that came out of that line.
Wow, okay,
And this would have been the startup of last year, of the program last year, when
Yeah.
we had to train them.
right.
Yep.
So that would have been extra money.
Okay, and then the health and the dental, I can totally understand this. But then the FICA on page 4, line 5200-1, elementary special ed teachers FICA. The salary was under. And the same thing with high school ed support. I mean, it's just a little bit strange that FICA would be up.
You talking about the scenario?
Yep, elementary, starting on page 4.
Yep. Sped teacher. Elementary sped teacher, if I can, that's what
Yeah,
you're looking at?
yeah. That's way over. And the salary is under.
I don't have an answer for that one.
Okay.
Yet.
Yet, of course, yet. Thank you. All right. High school transportation. I mean, I know the I'm sorry, page 5.
Sorry. I was just so excited by your budget question.
55,143. High school transportation is 184% up.
That from
Good job.
Page 5?
Yes. Close to the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yep.
6, 7, 8, 9.
That
10.
one, we should have come out of 2711, transportation.
Okay.
So that one should have come out of,
Yeah, I'm just looking at the ones that are so far over.
page 19. See this? It should have come out of one of these lines. Right there.
Okay, yeah, because I
Yep.
had that and I said, Paige, what?
Yep.
Okay, all right, so you're gonna move that for me
Yep.
then. Thank you. And then on page 7, first 3, elementary, summer school salaries, middle and high school. We're back on page, elementary, summer school, they were all back on page 3. And elementary was way over there. And it's really way over here also.
I'm sorry, hold on. Page.
All right, page 3,
At the bottom. Checking it out.
at the bottom, yep, the elementary school salaries, summer school salaries. And then,
We had, that's for extended school year.
What was your question?
okay, so that's under special
Is it
ed,
this year? Is this this year? Yeah, or last one?
Last
This
year.
was last summer, yeah.
last year.
So
Yeah.
which one are the special extended school year? Which one is which?
But there was an ES,
The
yes, yes, yes.
Elementary summer school salaries under the 1200 function was for ESY for
Okay.
last year.
Okay,
Okay.
and there were obviously more,
There was more students than anticipated,
all
yes.
right.
And what was the other, what was another?
Well, I was just, I was looking at page 3, page 7. We had salaries.
Oh, yeah, that one's
It's all
extended,
ESY.
extended school year, the other one's
Okay.
just regular summer school.
I think. Yeah, it doesn't matter. And the rest of it.
What page is that, 15?
50, just middle school principal supplies.
For the 791,
Yeah.
that's printing overages.
Okay, all right.
Anybody else?
I'm done on that one.
Moving on then to this year,
So we'll get that one number and that one.
operating budget. Yeah, but-
Okay, my only question on the revenue.
No, we ain't got
Oh,
that.
I'm sorry.
But this year's budget,
Oh, we're gonna do both expenses rather than.
because it's in order. Isn't it?
Well, I know, but I had to tear the revenues off of.
Was it on the back?
Keep in mind, this,
Is it on the back of that thing?
It's on the back of this year's expense.
Oh,
It's not on the back of last year's expense. So pick up this year's expense. And then on the back,
What
the
page is
last
it?
2 pages,
Okay.
both page 1 and 2. See if that one, whoa, here. I know. I had to slap Nate because I didn't think that we had revenue for this month. There you go. That's this year.
Yeah, well, it'd be staple for that.
I don't,
got you, Nate.
thank you.
It's
Just
staple
one
for
person.
wrong. Okay,
I yelled at him.
look at the monthly for this coming year, 2017 and 2018 monthly expenses. Any questions?
I have all sorts of,
Keep in mind, this is
I know.
definitely gonna be a work in progress.
I know. But all of
We
a
have a lot of
sudden,
positions moving and
we have all the FICA. We only have 6%
We're on page
left. Yeah, page 1, 5%, 15% left.
encumbered, yes.
Okay, so it's just all encumbered.
Yes, see right here.
Got it,
We haven't
okay.
spent it yet.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right, then that's probably what all of this is. Okay.
You did your
now
homework.
You're right, I did my homework.
We leave it to Peg.
Page 5,
Okay.
middle of the thing, the elementary sped tuition All three of them, tuition,
Yeah, those
non-public.
were all unanticipated tuitions.
Holy moly, okay.
121,000%.
693,900.
So what percentage go by the fact that we only had $1 in there?
I look at the percentages too.
It's not good.
I'm sorry. Looks great, thank you.
5.
Page 5.
So we still in
So
order?
then, tuition non-public is what you're talking about?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, where it's way out
They're
there.
wrong. Okay. Thank you.
Now you wanna go to the revenue?
Yeah,
So
thank
those
you.
are the two you have lost.
All right, my only question on,
What page?
well,
Page-
it's page 1, but it's the ending of this year, 712.
Page 51 is the one you're on.
Oh, okay, oh, I keep forgetting you guys do that. Page 51,
Okay.
Nate. We still have 263,000 remaining?
Yes, but keep in mind that's includes grants, which makes up the bulk of everything. And those don't close until the end of August and the end of
Okay.
September.
Okay, will,
So if you look at the first page, you've got the general fund.
right,
We increased, we got $64,000 more than anticipated.
Yep.
And then if you look at the food service, we actually got 11,000 less than we anticipated.
yeah.
So, but overall, we got about 53,000 for the general fund
Okay.
and the food service fund.
All right, so when will the grant money
Every month, we get reimbursed.
be added to the bottom line of the expenses, what we have left over or not?
For last year? No.
Okay.
But that's treated completely different.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Now, did you want to talk about page, I think it's 53, from revenue? You all set with that? Okay.
Yeah, we got 100% remaining. Phew.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, moving on. Okay, grant overview for last year.
Both of these are labeled fiscal year 17.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at right now, yeah. Page 54.
Don't
So it's
go by the
63.
title. I didn't
Oh,
change
okay.
it. in time.
Okay.
It's changed now.
Okay.
But I
Gotcha.
didn't do it before this.
Okay, thank you.
We all set?
Mm-hmm.
Moving on.
Oh, yeah, the first one.
Grant overview
Yeah.
for 17 to 2018. Any questions?
Nope.
Okay.
This should be 18 is what you're saying though, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
this here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So next month it'll show 18.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought that too.
I saw. Yeah.
Hey,
I do my homework. for
page
goodness sake.
69 and the number on the bottom of each page is the treasurer's report. Everybody view it?
Mm-hmm.
Need a motion to approve it?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Any questions?
I'll stop second.
Yes, this time? Paul? Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, it passes, thank you. Moving on, cash reconciliation. That's good. Activity statement report, do we have any questions?
Good.
Moving
This
on.
whole month, yep.
Okay, down to 6, second reading on the policies. I'd like to just, the policy that we're going to repeal is JICBD,
Mm-hmm.
so I need a motion to repeal it.
I thought we did that last time.
Well, that was the first reading.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'll make a motion to appeal.
I'll second it.
Okay. So officially, it's been, that's when it's pupil safety and violence prevention, okay.
Can we just put that in the minutes that you make that motion to repeal as recommended by the Hampshire School Board?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So in case anyone has questions.
I think you might have,
HSBA.
it should have been in the first minute, but that's okay, thank you for doing it
Oh,
again.
we're doing it again?
Yeah, Melissa?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Doug, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right, this is the JIC, Pupil Safety and Violence Prevention and Bullying, and this covers retaliation and everything. This is what he said to do. Barrett Christina. I think I got it right.
Yep.
All right. So I always get it wrong.
Do we need a motion?
Yes, I would like.
I'll make a motion to
Okay.
approve JIC.
And do I have a second?
I'll second Jick.
Okay, and that would be under the same guise that Stephanie said, that
Mm-hmm.
the approval of Barrett Christina.
NHSBA, yep.
Melissa?
Approve. Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Doug, yes?
I guess.
And
Okay.
Yes.
passes. It's on the books.
God.
Now, shouldn't we make sure that if there's any changes, that it goes out to all the students?
Correct.
Hmm.
Dan?
I was
John,
gonna
we
include
can do that.
my handbook, I don't know if you already.
Yeah, that's a good idea, put it in the
Yes.
handbook.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just put it online with the handbook. We usually do it online for the handbook rather than sending out paper copies. And we'll just put it in.
But does every parent have a computer though?
Anybody who doesn't,
You
we
pick them on the-
send it with purple pages.
Okay, I'll make sure. All right. Okay, moving on to B, designated parking spots on School Street. Well, board, we did it.
We did.
We did do it.
Now we got parking spots?
Well, they should be done maybe by the end of next week. We should have from 6 to 8
Oh, good.
On the street?
on the School Street, yeah. So,
Doug did a
no.
wonderful job
We're all
Monday
in this
night.
together, people, don't just point at me.
Yeah.
No, but he did a great job presenting Monday night to the Board of Selectmen, so.
Awesome.
So, well, what they requested, we'll get a couple of spaces in front of the Damon House, starting right there down toward Elm Street, but nothing from the parking lot entrance where the high school is, up to MES, we can't do it.
Okay.
And the thing is, the ones from the driveway going into the high school, down to the stop sign, what they're going to be, this is what they asked for, is a designated drop-off for students. But I did discuss it with the administrator at the high school, and we did have some concerns, and we were worried about kids having to walk up that walkway, but I will talk to her, that administrator again, and then if I have to, I'll go back to the selectmen.
Now, we're gonna sign those spots like SAU parking only, or?
No, we can't, it's public parking, but when you come into the school, it's a public street, but you can just drop your kids off and they can walk up there right now.
So that'll be drop-off park. We'll have drop-off signs, so students don't park there all day.
They shouldn't be parking there all day.
It's for visitors, right?
Right.
Then the other two are for visiting at the SAU,
Okay.
mainly set aside. Now, on the board, I did one other thing. The Chief Kraus wants to come in the 23rd, and talk to us about making the parking lot at the high school totally one-way. All right? Going in and then coming out on Elm Street, and then coming into Elm Street, do not enter. Okay, and then he's gonna talk about that next week, and you can think about that.
So the only way you can come in is from School Street?
Correct.
You can't come in from Elm?
Yeah, because I don't want to take his thunder away, but what he's worried about, probably the bus driver realized, we have buses trying to go in out, we got cars coming in, and he's just waiting for an accident to happen.
It's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
And he did bring this up before to us, and we never did anything about it, so I put it back on, and he'll be in to talk to about us, but let you all be
Okay.
aware that he's coming in.
Can you let them know we want to talk about Peg's
I've already spoken
Oh.
to him.
suggestion too?
I've
Peg
already
wouldn't let-
spoken to him about it.
You
Oh.
handled it, Peg?
Oh, I was right there. Peg did a good job.
Yeah,
Do we get
What
to know
suggestion?
the answer or no?
they're still down 2 people.
Paul, what
Oh,
are
oh,
we talking about?
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't even remember what it's
School
called.
program.
But it's a school program that any sexting, any of that stuff is punishable by law.
Can I ask why the other officer who already is familiar with the presentation can't come and do it?
Because it's a different district, I already asked him to. So, yeah.
It it's just a big no, or would cost money, or
No, it
it's
was a
not?
big no. He basically said, I'm from this district, that's that district. I really can't.
Even if this district invites him?
I can talk to Chief Kraus and see if he will invite him.
This is supposed to be for the kids, so basically because we have a small town and we have staffing issues, our kids don't get to find the information out.
All right, I will continue.
That's very frustrating. Like, there should be a way to collaborate, just like on police calls and fire calls, all of the
Yeah.
cities, people collaborate. So I don't understand why I understand that it can't be a full-blown DARE program or an ongoing thing, but we're talking about one
Okay.
presentation.
All right, I will
And
talk
if
to
we
Chief
have
Kraus.
If it comes down to funding, then we would have the money from that grant.
Okay, all right.
Well, he's coming in the 23rd.
Well, it would be nice to, I guess, give him this information so that maybe he can have some answers for us, so I guess he can be prepared that that's what we're interested in finding out.
And he doesn't hear it that night for the first time.
You're right.
Right, no, I will get in
Then it
touch
will
with
just
him.
be, again, I'll find out.
So we all set?
Yep.
Yep.
Moving on. C is the repeater, and I think that would be Tim. Eldridge, he has some information for you?
We have information from Tim.
Tim, you got your back to the camera, they don't know who you are.
Give away.
Turn and give them, you know?
Yeah.
I already got one,
Thank you,
Tim.
Tim.
You're welcome.
So,
This stuff you're costing us
All right.
already.
So, I got the 3 estimates. And after reviewing them, lots of questions came up. It was supposed to be something very simple, just, hey, we need radios, can you get us set up? And I found out that in the radio world, that's not as simple as turning on a switch. So I did reach out to 3 different companies, 3 Ponds, Kenny Communication, and Two-Way Communication. They all understood that we were looking for a repeater system to go on top of Tenerife, and I believe that's the town's tower up there, and so we would be joining them up there. We currently have a receive antenna up there for the system that we're using now, which is repeating off of the Wakefield site. But because of the split, we needed to get our own. So if you look through, each of them are a little bit different. The first one is from 3 Ponds. It's a basic putting a repeater up, programming our radios, and using the fire department's frequency that they are no longer using. And then down the road relicensing that frequency. And so that's kind of that quote in a nutshell.
Do you want to give that figure out loud to the people?
Sure. The total is 5285. And then John Kenny, he came in with 2 options. Basically the same thing as doing the repeater, the equipment that's associated with it, keeping the antenna that's currently there. The only drawback with both Kenny and Two-Way Communication is we have to get a frequency to use. And that frequency, again, after several phone calls and finding out all the ins and outs of this, found out that it takes 7 to 10 days to give us some frequencies to try, and then it takes 6 to 10 weeks, if not longer, for the FCC to actually issue us the frequencies. So we'd be well into the school year before having a frequency to use. And that, like I said, is both with Kenny and two-way communication. We're running into that stumbling block. John also, from Kenny Communication, he also did give us a quote to use used equipment on the site. So that's another option. And then two-way communication basically gave us the same as Three Ponds and John, is putting a repeater up there with all the necessary equipment, reprogramming the radios. And the only difference from his quote of the 4,060 is that if you look on the back side of that, there's an email, and it's the installation of the antenna on the tower. And that's another 2,100 that would have to go in. So either we buy the antenna from Kenny Communication that already has his up there, or we have them put it up, which would be the 2,100.
Tim, did you give the estimates for Kenny's Communication? I might have missed it.
I'm sorry, I did not. John's estimates for the new equipment was $63.19, and for the used was $46.47. So in the essence of time, and to be able to move forward, I would recommend that the school board approve the Three Ponds quote for the 5285, only because they basically can get us up and running right after the start of school. They're talking from the time they put the order in, say if it's approved tomorrow, it would take just about a month, a little shy of a month to get everything up and going, which would, like I said, get us into probably that second week of school. So.
Go ahead, Ben.
Antenna, you mentioned, I'm looking through Three Ponds, but you mentioned with two-way,
Yep.
an additional charge for whatever it was, the antenna and the cable.
Three Ponds.
Do we already have one? Are we?
No.
Okay.
Currently, all the equipment that's on the tower right now is rented equipment through Kenny Communications. That's the repeater rental that we've had for the past several years. But once the agreement is over and we decide to do whatever, that equipment either comes down, or if it's John, it stays up there. So, but in Three Ponds, it's included in the quote.
Okay, I mean, they've got all the different things and I don't see anything that clearly says. What would be the name of the antenna on here? I see hardware.
I'm guessing it's one of the hardwares, such as
Okay.
the 400 cable.
Or maybe the 1600 or the 2230?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, all right, but it did include the antenna.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
I make a motion to approve the Three Ponds.
I second it. Sounds like it's gone now.
Can I have a question?
Yes, certainly you can, yeah.
On the back of the first page, it says, from Three Ponds, it says the estimate assumes the existing antenna system on the tower remains intact.
Oh, there we go.
So
Um,
it's not gonna be there anymore, correct? They're gonna take it
Okay,
off?
good, thank you.
Correct.
So there's gonna be an additional-
Actually, you are right. When I talked to him, the town has an antenna up there that through the fire department for this frequency that's not being used, they're saying that we can use that.
Okay, so that's what I'm
So I
saying. Okay.
apologize. You are
I was
right.
looking at it.
All
So
right.
are we still okay with what our motion and our second?
Can you repeat who it was?
Stephanie, motion, Melissa, second. Hey, Melissa?
Excuse me? I vote for it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Stephanie?
Aye.
Okay, Tim, you're all set on that issue, thank you. I want to thank you for getting those 3 bids, I know it wasn't easy.
Well, it was certainly an eye-opener.
Well, I know it didn't turn out simple either. Well, I think you're still up though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but
Yeah, you're D. Okay, you get the floor.
Is the bus route, I'm not sure, I actually can't remember if you guys actually approve them each year, or if it's just an advisory that they.
I think it's just informational. I don't remember ever approving.
Right, I think it was Wakefield that was.
And nothing's changed, has it? Same as every year?
There's some minor changes, in their time changes, some students have moved out, so we don't have to go down a particular road, those sorts of things. But with the routes, they're a constant change. As people move in, we have to adjust the routes throughout the year. So this is the tentative list for day number 1.
Now, do these get put online also in some town?
They'll be published on the website, and we do send them. They used to publish them in the papers, but I believe now they just publish them on their website.
Okay. So, everybody have any more questions on this issue?
no, but I love the team names,
I do too.
Tim. Thank you. Really cute. It's very cute, rather than Boswell and Bostu.
I didn't
Team Red
I
Sox.
didn't see any Yankees on it.
No,
Oh.
He's not in my room anymore. I'm not sure.
He's not in your room anymore, he's out?
Tim.
You threw him out?
Okay.
If there's no Yanks,
Hey,
you're
Tim.
done, you gotta move out of the room.
Tim, we'll build a partition, okay?
Okay.
The Red Sox,
Boston,
Bruins,
man.
Boston, man, yeah.
Moving on, E, a field trip request?
Actually, I think she's
It's not a
asking
request, it's a request for money.
Yeah, she's asking for money?
We do this every year.
We
Yeah.
already approved, you guys already approved that.
We
We
did?
approved the
Oh, New York, it's
We
always New
approved the
York.
trip.
every year.
trip.
We haven't
Did
approved any
approve
money.
the
No, 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 you approved the trip, so I'm saying, like,
She's
it is for
asking
money.
for money.
Right,
Yeah.
not,
So we want to approve it for money now. They want money now? What-
What did we give last year, Nate?
Thought it was
1,000.
1,000?
Yep.
So I'll make a motion to do
I'll
the same
Bye-
thing as
bye,
last year.
Tim. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks,
Second.
Tim.
Thank you.
Peg seconded it, Paul.
Yep.
You didn't get it. Do I have any more discussion? Just $1,000?
Yep.
All right. Wrote that down myself. Melissa?
yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Doug, yes?
Hey, yes.
Yes.
There we go, that's taken care of, thank you. All right, do we have any old business?
No?
Any committee board reports? Oh, you got something to pass on about the selectmen, don't you?
Have fun.
Oh, okay. Yes, I do. Thanks, Doug.
That was choreographed, huh?
Oh, you want to bring that up? Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, but at the selectmen's meeting Monday night, they approved to go with Back Bay for their whole computer system, which we have, and hopefully somebody's gonna get a discount on it, and, I think we need to look at it.
Us, right?
Yeah, man. So, anyway, they had 3 bids and ended up going with Back Bay.
Cool.
And it was primarily because we already have Back Bay, and so when they first brought it up, I do have to say that I put a plug in there for you, Back Bay. So you better take really good care of us.
Now, the only thing I want to bring up, Peg's been going to the selectmen's meeting, how many months in a row now?
Yeah, since what, January?
Are you secretarying it? Is that a word?
Secretariat?
Does anybody want to
Secretarying it.
take it for
No.
for a couple of meetings?
I was waiting for the selectmen to come to our meeting again,
I
they
know.
seem to have
I'm
forgotten.
gonna be honest.
I think they forgot.
I guess if we're bringing it up now, that was something that I wanted to discuss. I feel like instead of adding on to the plate of an already really, really busy plate, I think it would be more productive that maybe set up quarterly meetings or 2 meetings a year where we actually get together and actually talk about anything that pertains with the school and the town together. I understand the idea, but we're already going to a lot of meetings, and they're already going to a lot of meetings, and they're not making our meetings, and it's not a like tit for tat thing, it's just, that's just my opinion. I think that it's a lot to add on. I think if, I like the idea of collaborating, and my idea was just to make it actually more collaborative versus just sitting there listening to them, or them sitting here listening to us. Actually make it a collaborative meeting where on the agenda is issues that would pertain to discussing things that we want to collaborate with them on.
Okay,
So maybe make a note during the meetings of things, hey, we should probably bring this up.
Yeah.
And after we get a list, then we can
Well, and
go to
I'm
the
thinking
meeting.
the lovely superintendent could be working on that list, or we could be talking about it amongst administration, and they can be talking about it amongst their town people, and then we make that list and we have that agenda, and that be 1 or 2 meetings a year, that it's solely based on the collaboration between the school and the town.
I have to be honest, I like that idea, because I do go. I mean, I don't mind, and I find it very interesting. I know. However, I like that idea because there is really no collaboration. I mean, we do our meetings, they do their meetings, and that's the end of it. So I will certainly suggest that to them.
You know.
Larry has something.
I'm sorry, Larry.
Thank you. I don't remember, Chapter 31 is the town law, duties and powers of towns. Chapter 32 is duties of the budget committee. I forget what your number is. There is no statutory authority for a liaison from the town to the school, or from the school to the town. The budget committee is the mutual meeting point at which elected members of the public representing budget interests of the town, and an elected representative of the school district and the water commission and the town government representing the financial interests of those 3 groups. To put a person at a table, either here or at the selectmen's meeting, suggests that they are more than the public. The selectmen have had, from at least 2004, a document in which you can come to the agenda. An item which affects the interests of the school board in process necessarily goes to the town for resolution, as Doug was very nicely at the selectmen's meeting last night for an issue that was the schools, that could be decided by the executive authority of the town.
Does anybody else have anything?
I personally think it would be a great idea to do it twice a year. It doesn't have to be anything traditionally absolutely formal. It just could be certain ideas that we may need to collaborate on or get some input from each other. So I would second her.
And I think I'm probably going to get in trouble for this one, but I think a major thing of collaboration could be the rec department with the school. The rec department falls under the town, I understand that, but they are serving children, and they're serving older citizens as well, but their population is primarily impacting the schools because it later on affects the school's athletics and the school's coachings and all of that. And I feel like that's a huge area that if the selectmen and the rec commission and the school board was a little bit more focused on, I think maybe more stuff could happen there.
But you already have a representative from the school board on the
Yeah,
rec
yeah,
department.
but they don't have meetings.
They haven't met lately?
No.
Oh, hell no.
We have one, right?
I have no idea.
The minutes are
Was
as up to
in,
date as the meeting.
I believe the meeting was in May or June.
June?
May or June.
Oh, May or June.
And that was the first one in a year.
And you didn't, oh, were you at that one?
Yes, I was at, yes.
I'll have to,
All
okay.
right, well, I will bring that up to them and report back on it next month. How's that?
So if anybody from the board wants to go and sit in the audience, I don't care. I mean, that's your prerogative. You're a voter and a taxpayer.
Okay.
But I find that when I do go like that, I'm glad I went because I didn't know there was a bid for the IT person, which I found out. I do have an issue I want to bring up to them, and I'll talk about it.
Well, and that's another example of things that could be more collaborative. When you know, like, when we were going for the playgrounds, Rec was doing playground, PGA at the elementary school was trying to do a playground. That could have been another area to collaborate on. I mean, granted, it wasn't school board business, so I guess, but there's different, you know, or when the town's looking at rebooting their website, well, throw a phone call either way to say, hey, we're rebooting our website, how's yours? And then they would find out, hey, we're having struggles with ours too. Or, you know, and vice versa. When we're looking at redoing a whole system or something, we throw it over to the town and say, how's your system going? Who are you using? If it's not going well, do we want to go in on this together and look for unity? Uniformity? Is that the
What
right
I-
word?
What I found interesting on their IT proposal, they had brought in a third party to evaluate what they had in the building, which I thought was really a good idea. But I do have something I want to bring up to the chairman on facilities that I have a concern. I'll bring it up later to him. We'll talk about it when we have our meeting next time. Then we need to, at some point, bring up that list to appoint you to make your schedule really busy. So we probably could do that at the 23rd.
Okay.
Yeah, but you might have gotten, can we send you a master list on?
Of all the committees?
Yeah, we had
I
one.
think she
We
went,
signed- we signed
she
up
signed
on
it, everything that Lou was doing, she signed.
You're gonna take them all over?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Not facilities though, right?
Yeah,
I think you were gonna stay on facilities with me, and then the rest is gonna be Lou's other
No.
job.
So it'd be budget, backup,
Policies.
Yeah.
policy,
Mhm.
Yeah. And
There was one more back.
Grant,
right?
you're gonna be on the,
oh, the grant.
Grants, yeah.
what's
Was
happening
that
to
even
the?
on there? I didn't even know if that was on there.
That was on there, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I wrote it on there by hand.
Yes.
What's happening to the grant committee?
Gonna meet when school begins.
Okay, yeah. So have we settled that issue about buying all those computers, the second or third phase?
Yeah, we'll discuss it.
We'll discuss it then, okay. Thank you. All right. Does anything from the public?
Yeah, thank you for the discussion on the NET. As I understand it, you're basically looking for a sublet, whether it's going to be a sweetheart sublet at cost and whether or not you get an administrative fee. So the question is, you have 7 slots. Can you buy slot number 8 for the same cost? But that's the first question. If no slot 8 exists for anyone, slot number 7 is gold. If slot number 7 costs $100 and program X costs $200, you sell slot number 7 for $150 and keep 6 open for yourself. Is that the kind of assessment you're doing?
We just started. I just started on the first, so we're just starting, looking at all the figures.
Okay, that's all.
Fair enough.
30 years ago, the School Board Association in New York was working hard on creationism. Do we have a policy on that and a transgender policy?
Not that I know of.
Lastly, for the grammarians among us, I have 12 pages of syndromes in Dorland's apostrophe illustrated medical dictionary. Most of them carry an apostrophe because that was the physician who first documented the condition. Alzheimer was not demented. Alzheimer was not demented. John Langdon Downs was not retarded. Apostrophes matter.
What is that in reference to?
More,
sorry?
more wisdom, words of wisdom from Larry.
Was that a topic that was discovered at
No,
discussed?
no, it's just
Okay.
wisdom
Alright.
from Larry.
It's, special ed costs will be important this year.
We know that. We were, we
Being
were
worked
alarmed this
on.
year.
And I do believe that we need to incorporate transgender into our policies because it is an active part of society these days, even in a small town.
I'm sure by law there had to be one, so I guess it just needs to be looked up. I don't think it.
Does the NHSBA have one?
Huh?
Does the NHSBA have one? Like to have like a state?
Yeah.
Like the-
Correct, I think we just need to pull the.
Yep.
Yeah, they're definitely, in fact, they recently worked on it this past year. And when the policy committee meets, that's one of the ones that, you know, obviously with current events and so forth, there's been a lot of discussion. So in light of that, the question that you asked, well, they have some recommendations on that. So when the policy committee looks at it, they will, just like we do with all of the things, we assuredly will look at the school board's recommendation on that.
Now, you
I'm
should,
sure there'll be, I'm sorry, for a good discussion on it.
they should be able to, well, you're a member and we pay into that, you should be able to have access to everything at the New Hampshire School Board Association. All you have to do is call in and get their passwords. You just go in and you can look right at the policies they've got yourselves.
Yeah, I
And
was,
teachers'
I
contracts
will
and
look that
stuff.
I was reading on, you know, I read them and then when we get to them just as a basis of knowledge, but we will be addressing that.
Is the facilities meeting before the next meeting?
No, I don't think so. I will stay on schedule.
So do we want to try?
Should be one on the 23rd, right?
No, I thought we did it the first Wednesday of each month.
We did
Typically,
it.
it's been the first, yeah.
But we did it last month, we did it the
Yeah.
last second
You want
meeting.
to keep on schedule, you want to?
Yeah, we'll just go, we can go the first.
First.
That's fine.
Then put policy back on
So policy,
for the 23rd? Is that what we want to do?
And facilities?
No.
So this would be the
Oh.
next week.
Okay.
So we have
Is that
something
good
from,
with you? Do you want
How
to
big
meet
you
an
will
hour
listen?
before the next meeting?
I believe so. Let me just double check my calendar for that day, because I'm commuting, so,
Why don't you let us know and then we can plan it accordingly.
okay.
now, what I need to know, if you're going to meet here, you got to let me know, because I got to let you in.
I will let you know following.
Let her know.
I can look at my calendar.
Yeah, and just
So we
send,
can get back on schedule.
send us both that.
Doug, can the facilities thing wait?
I
Or does it have to come up?
don't think it has to come up. I only have one issue I'd like to talk to you about. And,
But it's okay to wait till the meeting?
yeah.
It's not pressing?
No, it's not emergency.
Okay.
It's something it's been bothering me about what's going on, and I think I'd like to address with you.
Uh-oh.
It's not serious.
I want to know what it is now.
All right, are we
Just cut the
done?
trees
Are we
down,
done?
Doug. Just cut the trees down.
Now, I gotta just cut the trees and stay out of it?
Yeah.
Anything else from the public? Okay, I need a motion to go into, oh, I'm sorry. Nate,
I have one thing.
like a flag. He's got some-
Index Packing Incorporated, which I believe is down the street.
yes.
Yep.
Every year they have a company cookout, and they hold raffles, and the employees get assorted things. And the company, depending on what the amount of money they make off the raffles, match that amount and they donate it. And this year they donated it to the negative food balance.
Wow.
Really?
That's awesome.
Oh, wow.
Thank
It'll make
you.
Paul happy.
Wow, that is good. It's a
How
good
about Peg
thing.
happy?
Go Peg too, I'm sorry.
That's really good.
Yep.
Does anyone send them
Is
a
that
thank
the
you?
amount?
Yes.
Yes, we would like to send him a thank you.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thought that was pretty cool.
That is cool.
Did you want to give the figure for them, or,
If you want me to.
well, want them to be excited, don't we? Isn't that excited?
Yahoo!
Go ahead.
It was $1,080.
Nice.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Index.
Packaging.
Packaging.
index, and you didn't say Windex.
Not Windex.
I heard Windex.
I thought in there.
I heard it too.
Thank you.
Okay,
Index.
I need a motion to go into non-public.
I make that motion that we go into non-public pursuant to RSA 91A 3, 11 ABC 3. What is it? It's 2 actually. Isn't it?
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Melissa?
In favor?
Paul?
Aye.
Doug, yes?
Hey, guy.
Stephanie, yes? Okay. We are in